Welcome to the She's Not Sorry podcast, summer season. I'm Julie, founder of INCANDERE and creator of She's Not Sorry, a continuing audiovisual series for women reclaiming their voice, truth, visibility, and personal authority. The summer season is about the woman who is done shrinking, done over apologizing, and ready to hear herself again. Through storytelling, teaching, and reflection, we'll explore personal growth, human behavior, relationships, wellness, leadership, and what it means to become a woman who no longer apologizes for her truth. So let's begin. Today's episode is called The Woman Who Knows, because I believe there's a version of you who already knows. She may be quiet. She may be buried under years of conditioning. She may be covered in doubt, guilt, responsibility, and overthinking, but she is there. This is the woman who knows. She knows when something is off. She knows when she is outgrowing a room. She knows when the answer is no. She knows when she's being asked to perform a version of herself that no longer fits. She knows when she is hungry for more. She knows when a dream is not random. She knows when a relationship feels one-sided. She knows when the body is speaking. She knows when the life she built is no longer the life she can keep pretending to want in that same exact way. But many women have been trained to distrust the knowing. We ask, am I overreacting? Am I being too sensitive? Do I have enough proof? What if I'm wrong? What will people think? Who am I to want that? Who am I to say that? Who am I to change? And underneath all those questions is often one deeper wound. We were taught that outside approval was safer than inner authority. So instead of trusting what we know, we gather evidence. We ask everyone else. We wait for permission. We over-explain. We build an entire courtroom around our own truth and then wonder why we feel exhausted. One of the most important distinctions a woman can learn is this: fear is not always confusion. Sometimes we say, I don't know, when we actually do know. We're just afraid of what knowing may require. You may not be confused about whether you want to be more visible. You may be afraid of being seen. You may not be confused about whether a boundary is needed, but you may be afraid of someone's reaction. You may not be confused about whether a dream matters. You may be afraid of failing. You may not be confused about whether you have something to say. You may be afraid it will change things once you say it. And that sentence is powerful. I am scared, but I'm not confused. Self-trust is not the absence of fear. Self-trust is the practice of staying in the relationship with yourself while fear is present. It sounds like, I may not know every step, but I know what I know. Or I may not have everyone's approval, but I'm willing to listen to myself. Or I may be scared, but I'm not confused. Because your body often knows before your calendar does. Your intuition often knows before your logic can organize it. And your resentment often knows before your mouth admits it. Your longing often knows before your life makes space for it. The woman who knows is not always loud. Sometimes she whispers. Sometimes she waits. Sometimes she repeats the same truth for years and years and years until you finally stop calling it random. She's Not Sorry is a space for that knowing to come back online. Not in a vague way, in a grounded way, in your language, in your relationships, in your leadership, in your work, in your choices, in your willingness to stop outsourcing your own authority. So here's your reflection practice for this episode. Write this question. Where have I been pretending to be confused because I'm afraid of what I know? Sit with that. Where have I been pretending to be confused because I'm afraid of what I know? Then complete the sentence. The truth I already know is ... Fill in the blank. Do not force yourself to act immediately. Just tell the truth. Because telling yourself the truth is often the first act of coming home. This has been the She's Not Sorry podcast, summer season, a continuing audiovisual series from INCANDERE for women reclaiming their voice, truth, visibility, and personal authority. I'm Julie, and this is She's Not Sorry. Subscribe for the next episode in the summer season. And remember, your voice is not the problem. The apology was.